I'm Thomas Kuzma. I am 22 this April. I have Asperger's syndrome.
We Belong is a study that investigates the lived experiences of adults with Asperger's disorder and high-functioning autism. Autism Spectrum Australia undertook this study because we are very aware from clinical experience and from smaller studies, much smaller studies, that adults with Asperger's disorder and high-functioning autism have very high rates or high prevalence of mental illness and very high rates of unemployment. We realised though that we needed Australian data and evidence about the experience of this group if we are really to effectively influence government and the communities to put in place the sorts of services and supports this group deserve and need if they are to, like every other Australian, be able to have a quality of life that they deserve. If we accept 1 in 100 as the overall prevalence for autism spectrum disorder, and that's internationally agreed, then in Australia we have around 225,000 people with an autism spectrum disorder. In terms of Asperger's disorder and high-functioning autism, conservatively we estimate around 130,000 people. First of all, people with Asperger's disorder and high-functioning autism have exactly the same aspirations and goals as do any other Australian. That is, they want to have socially effective relationships. They want to be well connected with family members. They want to have a range of friends. They want to have partners as adults. They want to get married. They also want to be able to live independently in communities, just like other people. They want to be part of those communities. They want to use services, belong to sporting groups and hobby groups. They also, very importantly, want to be employed. One of the major goals of people in this group, I made very clear through this study, is that they desperately want the opportunity to work and to contribute to their communities.
We know from speaking to adults with Asperger's and autism, and also from studies that looked into the experiences of children with autism during their school years, we know they're at very high risk of being bullied and teased and excluded by their peers. When you think that their core impairment really is around their social skills, it's easy to see how they can be targets.
Some of my socially challenging social difficulties in handling social things, such as I could not go to the pub and I won't get the idea of this and I won't get the idea of that.
The unfortunate thing is people think that this guy is so well presented, he doesn't have a problem. The thing is, because people think I don't have a problem, they just say, oh, you're just making up excuses. You're just doing this just so you can say it. But it's wrong. I do have many problems as an Aspie.
It may not be that you'd have a great deal of interactions with these people. You might not even notice that they're there. But I think perhaps the main thing is just this sense of neighbourliness, that perhaps you live next door or 2 doors down from somebody on the spectrum, and as well as being very successful in some parts of their life, they may need a little bit of assistance or some negotiations or some help in some areas. And a neighbourly chat over the fence just to say hi, introduce yourself, let them know that you are available to help was probably as much as anybody would ask for.
Some of the next steps are raising awareness so that governments, services and the community generally know that there are a group of Australians who have an autism spectrum disorder who are at present basically locked out from services because the services lack suitable access or eligibility criteria, lack expertise, and simply aren't available in the communities, in people's local communities. The second thing is that we need to educate schools, teachers. We also need to educate major groups like employers about the support needs and services that are essential if this group is to take their place, to flourish, to do as well as they can.
I would hope to become someone in the television industry someday. I love TV. To create my own TV series or cartoon is like one of my major dreams. If I can't do that, I'd love to write a comic book series.